day of the Mahindra Australian Volleyball Super League. And what a match to get us started. It's the Perth Steel against the Adelaide Storm. Perth Steel looking for their second club double in 3 years. Meanwhile, the Storm, they're wanting to overcome their grand final hoodoo. Runners up twice. Can they go third time lucky? Or will Perth continue on undefeated? Thanks for joining us. My name is Hannah Kuha, and joining me to unpack the action is Mick Stevens, AVL legend. Mick, wonderful to have you in the house.
Great to be back here for Championship Day. I think the two best teams throughout the regular season have made it through to the championship game, so really excited for this one.
It's going to be huge. These two sides have had a massive season. Let's start with Perth. They have been undeniably in amazing form. As I mentioned, they haven't had a loss. How are you liking their chances today?
I think they come in maybe slight favourites. Really well-rounded team. They've got strength and dominance in every position. A really well-rounded offense, great defensive team. And not to take that away from the Adelaide Storm, again a well-rounded team, but I'm giving the slight edge to Perth.
So we see some of those stars of the Steel on screen. What have you made of their season overall? Obviously, it's a short season. You have to make the most of those 5 games, plus a semi-final, game number 7 coming into the granny.
Just really consistent. All their players, no one I don't think has had a poor rounds, and even if someone maybe slightly off, they've just got all that power all around the court in all positions to really form a really strong team and a unified team and a group that's been together for quite a while. So that consistency, not just this season, but over the last few years, I think really plays into their strength.
And how about this side, the Adelaide Storm? They're headed up with some pretty experienced players. 3 volleyball in Beth Carey, Rebecca Reeves and Danusha Sipper-Bourgeot. What have you made of their team? You can see on screen.
Again, quite a well-rounded team. I think the standouts for me will be Danusha Sipper-Bourgeot and Beck Reeve, the outside hitters. They do a power of work, great in reception. Sipper-Bourgeot certainly strong at the service line, and they'll hit a lot of ball for their offense. But if they can get the middles going, with Beth Carey in particular, Vicky Wright was fantastic in the semi-final. So if they can get them going, and the opposites in Sarah Good and Tara Mainland, and backed up by Chloe Jarvis-Libero.
You see the Steel side on the screen. Any surprises for you there?
No, I think they've basically run the same lineup all season long. Caitlin Waterfall seems to have taken the setting duties for most of the season. Jackie Tamburi being the #1 setter for a couple of years. Caitlin moved from Melbourne to Perth and has really cemented her place in this team. So either of those two will run a fantastic offense for them today.
Well, it really is the double Caitlin situation. As we check out the rules of the power play, so this is unique to the Australian Volleyball Super League. You can take 3 power plays per match. Interesting to note that today we're playing best of 5 sets. So do you think, Mick, teams are going to use their power plays differently?
I don't think so. It would make sense to use them in the first set and try and get that first set on the board. We're playing, as you said, best of 5. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some early in this match. However, I feel like the coaches see what happens on the scoreboard. If they've got a really solid lead or they're losing by quite a margin, they won't necessarily burn a power play. So it'll be interesting. I don't think there's been a super consistent trend through the season.
Speaking of coaches, you can see Rachel Orchard on screen, the coach of the Adelaide Storm. She was appointed in 2024. Can her team win the grand final today? This play gets underway. It's a beautiful, aggressive start from Perth.
That's a great swing from Hislop. She is a real weapon for them and their middles, and we talked about their all-round strength. If they can get her and Leah Clayton firing today, that's going to spell trouble for the Storm. And there's Carey. So getting her in the game early is really good to see.
Much better response from Adelaide. Such a nervous start for both sides, even though they've come into this with grand final experience. Many players have played in medal-winning matches before. Still never beats the jitters.
That's right.
Going around in 2025.
I think WA or Perth have that. They've got one under their belt. Adelaide yet to get one. That's a great delivery there and out to Reeve. That's a good start from her finding the floor. So her and Sipper Bourgeot, I think, as we said, be a big focal point of the offense. Looks like Mayland getting the start in the opposite role. She's sort of come off the bench here, and Sarah Gould have sort of shared that role a little bit for Storm through the season.
She's certainly earned that position today. Great work from Perth. So set up. And the deception, lovely work from the Steel.
And it's Tamburi with the start as well. So we've seen Caitlin Waterfall start the last few matches. And Tamburi getting the start today. So we'll see how they go. I think both benches for both teams quite deep and strong as well. So there's plenty of support coming off the bench, and both teams have used their bench. Certainly, as that serves a little short, certainly the Adelaide Storm used their bench a lot in the semi-final. They needed to. It went to 5 sets. So, both semi-finals, I think, for the girls went to 5 sets. So both teams been tested a little bit to get through to this championship game.
That's right. The form for the Perth Steel, although they've won every match this season, you're right about being pushed. Beautiful block.
Vicky Wright, she does such a good job in the middle for the Adelaide Storm, and there she is getting the dig. And another great dig. What's the call here? Net touch is the call, I think, on the Perth blockers.
So, as I mentioned, Perth, their run up to the final, they had a semi-final against Queensland, which they won 3-2. One of their closest matches this season, considering rounds 1 to 4 was 4-1 every match.
And very dominant. That Queensland team, very solid, very good team. So it's a great win to get past them and into this game.
Adelaide with the setup. And tremendous work, quick reflex work from the side in white, Perth Steel.
They are a good blocking team. I think both teams quite strong in block and defence, so it's a bit of a characteristic of the women's game. We see a lot more rallies and a lot more defensive work, so, and both these teams do a very good job with that.
It's interesting that you speak of the block efficiency is to try and have a good crack at it. With question mark, was that me?
Yeah, another net touch called on the Perth Steel. Handy 3 points for the Storm early on.
Perth had a semi-final block percentage of 3%, which was down on their season average of 8%, second in the league. I wonder if they'll bring those numbers back up today. It's a deep dig.
And there's Wincup, so the young superstar for the Perth Steel. And we sort of talked about her a little bit off the top of the broadcast. She had a great season and a great semi-final as well. So she'll, I think, be the focal point, and the middles as well. I think they'll try and establish those.
Absolutely. Wincup team of the week in both round 2, 4 and the semi-final. So very consistent throughout the season.
Yeah, well deserved. There's Mayland, the left-hander. She's dug. She's got a free ball given up to Adelaide. And they give the easy one straight back. Oh, another net touch. Who's it on this time? Adelaide Storm with the net touch there. So a bit of a messy start for both teams. So probably not characteristic of either of these teams to be called for so many net touches early in the game. So maybe a bit of nerves, as you mentioned at the start. Maybe a bit over-eager on block.
Yeah. Seesawing for both sides as they equalise 5 apiece. That's a much better
That's a massive swing. Yeah. Well, perfect reception. So the serve reception straight to the setter. Didn't have to move. And that puts a lot of pressure on the defence of the other team. So we get a replay here. It's a perfect pass. Setter's one block. So 1-on-1, you should win that battle every single time, certainly someone the quality of Reeve.
Such a lovely angle for Reeve. He sort of can't make it over the net.
Both teams are good on their serve reception, so it'll be interesting to see how much risk they take and how much pressure they try and put on serve today, because it's a fine line. If you go for a little bit too much, you can very easily serve the error. So not sure if there was any touches there. Head referee says no touch, so point to Adelaide, but trying to find Hislop there again, which is a big part of what they do.
Absolutely.
That's a good serve, bit of pressure there. And it leads to the point, so another unforced error. So I guess there's a bit of pressure on the serve receive there, but that's a bit of a scrappy play from Perth to Adelaide. 2-point break.
It's interesting, Perth have 3 of the top 6 most prolific servers this season. So you'd expect them to be strong from the serve. That's looking promising for Adelaide.
Yeah, that will help Adelaide. And there's Ma into the game for the first time, their captain for the Perth Steel. She plays in that opposite role. See the replay there off the block at that power to get that off the block and out.
Strong start. A lot of power over the net here, and well defended, setting up for the counter-attack. And unlucky. Wrong angle there for the Steel.
Good defence. They got the touch but couldn't keep the rally going. That's a nice swing down the line. I think that was Sippa Bourgeau. She's got the sharp cross-court angle. She's got that angle down the line as well. So a positive start for her. And I think some substitutions by the looks of it. It looks like Gould coming on for Adelaide.
See, the referees give the thumbs up, make that substitution.
And I think that's Doherty into serve, so she'll be serving and running the setting duties across the back, and Gould into the front for offence. Something they've done a lot through the season.
Do you think Perth have done their homework?
They, at this level of volleyball and at this point in the season, they'll have all their match reports, all their data as Hislop. That's a nice play as she, oh no. No, Perth did win it. Sippa Bourgeau smiling.
Huge smile on her face.
I thought I'd got that wrong there, but no, Hislop on that back set, very well executed.
So Adelaide picking up momentum now.
10-8, so any power plays are probably going to happen in the next couple of points as well. So you need to call it before you get to 12 points on the scoreboard. And there's a great serve from Sippa Bourgeau. And a great dig from her off the Hislop attack.
Yeah, she really is everywhere. That court coverage so impressive. Another dig and team effort. Sippa Bourgeau again. Just getting to everything. Can her team finish off the point?
How good are the one-arm digs and another cover. There's another one-arm dig. Oh, what a rally.
And what a rejoice from Scarlett Doherty. Love the fist in the air, and you'd be absolutely up and about with that point.
The longer those rallies go, just the more it means. It's still only 1 on the scoreboard, but when you put in that much extended effort, it really feels like it's worth a lot more.
Sometimes in that swing of momentum, it does, you're right, feel much more than 1 point. So Bourgeau again with the serve.
That's a big block from Carey. On Windcup it was as well. It looks like Caitlin Waterfall's come into the game in place of Tamburi as well. And there's a bit of a height difference, so Waterfall might be in across the front with a bit more height. It'd be interesting to see if Tamburi comes back into the backcourt.
Caitlin Waterfall, 170 centimetres. That is electric work. Love that from Sippa Bourgeau.
She hits that back row ball in the middle, a pipe we call that. She hits that quite well, so she found the corner there. We'll get another look. Yeah, she's not the tallest player out there, but she gets up and hits the ball really hard.
And her teammates helping her out. Rose getting to work.
Wells, I think she wanted to leave that, but couldn't get out of the way in time. And this is a commanding lead, 14-8. I wonder if Perth will call a power play. I don't know if it's worth it when you're down this much. And they're so, I mean, we're playing to 18, so there's not a lot of points left in this set, really.
There's some beautiful touch there. Lovely work from Ms. Hislop.
She's got the power game, but she's got the finesse as well. Everyone's used to her hitting the ball so hard that when you can disguise that little play, you can catch the defence off guard, and she did there. Good crowd in as well in Brisbane.
It's lovely energy at the South Pine Indoor Sports Complex. Hopefully a full crowd building with the men's game to come at 2:30. Oh, as we see, a beautiful bit of play. Straight down the line, and that was such a deadly ball.
Yep, we've seen that scoring for both teams, that turn down the line, and some great defence again. Couldn't defend that one, there was no chance. There's the defence in the corner from Steel. We'll get that angle down the line there, yep. So that block probably needs to be a little bit wider from the Storm and try and push her to hit across the court rather than down the line. Opportunity here for the Storm, and Goulds, no, can't find a way through. So a little run here by Perth.
Good denying, good response from the team coached by Pauline Mann. So you do wonder if she was thinking about that power play, thought she'd keep it up her sleeve perhaps.
Well, now that they've won a few in a row, she might change her mind. They're on 11, so it's their last opportunity, but great dig. It's too tight to the net, and Whincup gets up and puts it down. There's some great athletes on this team, both teams, and Whincup jumps really, really well. You might not come across with the angle of our camera, but you'll see here she's just getting her head well above the net. She's a very springy athlete.
Absolutely, 5 games for the Volleyroos back in 2023. Down the middle, and now again exposing that wide angle ball placement though. Yeah,
this is where sometimes in big games does the subbing, does that work, does it not, does it disrupt the rhythm? So we've seen sort of since that sub was made that Perth's been able to go on a little run.
Change of rhythm. A point going to that side.
Yeah, so a reach called there. So the Adelaide player reached up over the net too far, so penalised for that. So 14-8 and now 14-all.
Hasn't it been neck and neck? We were even at 5 apiece. Now drawing closer again, 14 apiece, make that 15-14. So some beautiful work from both sides building.
Big turn of events. It's a big run. 6 points to none to get it back to 14-all.
Just a reminder, you have to win a set by 2 points.
So we started with some unforced errors. We've had all this amazing play, and now another couple of unforced errors. So 15-all. So yes, must win by 2 here in the championship game. Waterfall serving. She's stayed on in the backcourt at the moment, so looks to be a permanent replacement for Tamburi so far, and that's a beautiful little roll shot right into the middle.
It's like both teams are using the early stages of this set to analyse where are they best off placing this ball. Do they go out wide? Do you go down the guts in that centre corridor? So both certainly doing their homework. Now, unforced error again. unfortunate for the libero.
That's a very rare mistake for Walters. She's had a really consistent season. That is a very rare mistake, and at the end of this set, 17-15, so set point now to Storm. Ma off the block and down.
Well, pressure certainly building. That's exactly what you'd expect from championship weekend. Doesn't get any tighter than this at the business end of the set.
It's a clutch play by Ma. So still a set point in favour of Adelaide.
And the block doesn't come through, so Adelaide take the first set, absolutely storming home there for the Adelaide Storm.
I think she described it well. Don't pay attention to what's happening around you. I think they'll be very focused on just their little group, and as she said, just coming together, and you'll see that with the players in between every point, as that's a big swing to start from Carey. You'll see the group come together every single point, and they'll just be trying to block out whatever's happening. We don't always get to see those shots, but on camera, but they're a very tight-knit group, are the Perth Steel.
Well, with Coach Pauline at the helm, she's been there since 2021, so certainly has the chemistry with the side. Just can't get it over the net there.
I think that set not quite in the right spot for her. She sort of had to change her shot a lot, I think it was Ma there.
So serve now.
And Waterfall starting again this set. So Tamburi started the first one, but Waterfall starting here in the second set.
Would you expect them to play one set each as we see monstrous attempt there?
I don't think there's a lot between those two setters. I think it's going to be who's just delivering the ball the best on the day. So there must have been something with Tamburi's start that maybe she wasn't getting the ball in the right spot, so they've gone with Waterfall, and it's up to her to hold her place on court and keep delivering the ball.
It's the hard thing about elite sport is within these championship sides, you must be constantly performing. So Nayland there on screen.
The lineup looks unchanged for both teams. I think will we see Adelaide double sub again with their setter with Gould and Doherty? We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's a nice block.
Beautiful touch work. I was impressed by the dig there from Caitlin Waterfall.
Yeah, both teams just bring such good defensive effort to the game. They're just asking who's serving. So the captain well within rights to ask, have a chat with the referees, and well within their right just to check that they have the correct person back there at the service line.
So that's Beth Carey in the number 13 there, playing her 160th AVL game today. The 35-year-old, impressive feat, given how short these seasons are in recent years.
She would have been away a lot with national team duties as well, so it's a very, very high number, 160 odd games.
119 caps for the Volleyroos, as you mentioned, that Australian representation in 2009, then that long stint 2012 to 2020, and most recently as 2023.
It's great to see her back playing in our National League, and there she is again. That's a great dig. Jarvis with a dig of her own. And there's this defense coming into play. Who can find a way through?
So the setup and well executed from the Perth Steel. Some tough work down on the court. Catherine Birch, what are you making of the play?
Thanks, guys. Wow, what an incredible first set, full of very, very epic rallies. The crowd is going absolutely wild for this game. Obviously, the Adelaide Storm just taking the first set there, but knowing the Perth Steel, they've probably got some more things to come in this match, so I wouldn't be ruling them out just yet.
Okay, certainly well and truly alive in this second set. Do you think they have a few aces up their sleeve?
I think, well, that Hislop finished the point off before, so if they can engage her a little bit more, I think it will be big for them. And as the ace serve off Whincup, and they've had a great little celebration all season for different players. Obviously have different moves. I thought that was the dolphin or something there. We'll have to see if
Bit of worm
energy. But I think Hislop and Leah Clayton as well, who's been very, very good in the other middle attacker role for the Perth Steel. So if they can get those two in the game a little bit more, just like that, right on cue, that will go a long way, because that fast play in the middle puts a lot of pressure on the block at the net for the opposition, but also their backcourt defenders as well.
So check out a replay.
And the perfect pass as well, right on the setter's head, and that makes that play really easy.
Lovely aggressive work from Hislop in particular. So I wonder with the Perth team, I mean, they've had so many undefeated streaks back in 2009 to 2010. 12 games, 12 wins in both seasons, no losses. They've been on the top of the ladder this year since round 2. So they're not used to being in this position, having to claw back, especially losing the first set, down in the second. It'd have to be some spirit, though, to rally here.
Yeah, they won't go away quietly, not at all. They're too good, they're too seasoned, they're such a tight-knit group, so.
It's beautiful touch there. Excellent work.
I think we'll see another power play, not another power play, a power play this set. It's much, much closer. This was about where Adelaide pulled away in the first set. So I wonder in the next few points whether the Perth Steel will call a power play to try and help them through that middle phase. That's a great cover. No run up for Whincup though, but that doesn't matter. She finds a way.
Lovely work, a lot of energy building now for the Perth Steel.
And there's that, what we talked about before, just the teams coming together. And that's a really good sign that they're staying together and not worrying about what's happening around them. Just come in, take that deep breath. It's a bit of a mental routine as well to help move on to the next point.
So off the well serve. Solid work from both sides, equalising again. So definitely neck and neck, as you can see the arm going off of Keith Green to come onto the court.
She's been fantastic coming off the bench for this Steel outfit. It's a great angle again. Rebecca Reeve hitting from the right side. So Crean's been a real energy boost for them in other games as she's come on off the bench. So it could be just the little spark that they need to try and pull away here.
Ma on screen as well. She has been formidable in her 6th season of AVL. She was in the Team of the Week round 1 and round 5. So the important parts of the season, getting your team off to a good start and taking them into finals. As the response building now, Whincup. And some nice work in the back right corner. Crean, as you mentioned, what an impact.
Straight into it, straight on the court, straight into the action. Another great dig from Ma. We probably didn't call her name a lot in the first set, so I think that's another one, another part for this Perth Steel team in terms of adjustments. Can they find her a little bit more on that right-hand side of the court?
Well, you would think if Perth decide to use their power play, she scored 10 power play points this season, which is a team high, equal 4th in the league. So you'd think they'd be looking to Ma, should their coach in Pauline Manser calling for that power play.
Well, on 10 points here, they're serving. If there is a pattern from the power plays, it's probably when they've been receiving serve, because you are our favourite to win that point on serve reception. So we'll see what unfolds here. That's a long way off the net for Sipper Bourgeot. An advantage Perth. Oh, that's a big swing. And into the crowd. You can hear it through the microphone. She absolutely cracked that ball.
Beautiful angle work from both sides. Check out a replay.
Just over the block. That's her athleticism. So on 11 points, no sign of the power play as yet. As Wright with a nice little tip. So Perth, now's their chance to call it if they're going to.
do you think both coaches have been conservative with not using their power plays yet?
That's a very, very good question.
Sorry to put you under the pump,
No,
Nick.
I don't know why Perth wouldn't have called it right then.
Okay.
The only thing I can think of, unless maybe there was a little alliance made that they won't use it.
Oh.
I'm just throwing it out there. But this is now the perfect time for Adelaide to use it because Perth can't counter with theirs because they're on 12. So often coaches will call it at the same time as their opposition. Perth wouldn't be able to do that. But when Windcup's playing like that, she's really stepped up in this second set.
Unbelievable work. 77 points scored this season for Caitlin Windcup, placing her second in the league.
And she had a fantastic semi-final as well. Jarvis getting a bit stuck on serve receive. So the power play really not needed for Perth at the moment.
Starting to run away with the points now. You can see Adelaide taking an extended period in their huddle to regroup, as you mentioned, down by 5. Largest margin they faced today.
Well, it's the reverse story of the first set as Malin has to tip and she gets dug. So again, an opportunity. Mars dug. It's a great swing, Sipper Bourgeot. I think not quite directly down the line, but sort of outside of that block. And they do go for their double sub again. So Dalsey and Gould coming into the game.
Let's check out a replay of this one. Such a lovely passage, and there, the power and might. Sipper Bourgeot, she is so strong, the 28-year-old.
Played in the college US college system as well, so heaps of experience. Great dig from Doherty.
Now Sipper Bourgeot again.
That is a perfect dig from Walters.
Strong libero work as Sipper Bourgeot again goes short, tries to use some variation in the passage.
It's a big swing and a great dig. And this time, though, Adelaide, not the greatest set, so advantage Perth now in this point.
Now again, will they use Gould? Sipper Bourgeot blocked at the net.
Rally of the match so far, it just keeps going. Gould, she recovers her own spike that was blocked.
And with depth into the back left corner, every player being used. What a marathon. Who has the endurance? Oh, endurance falls short for Beth Carey.
Just couldn't connect with her there. I thought it was, no, they've got 3 strong hitters. They've got Gould, Carey and Sipper Bourgeot on the front court. So I'd like that they went for Carey there, but just, I'm not sure if she sort of presented in a slightly different spot than the setter may have been thinking, but they just did not connect at all.
Oh, what a rally. Doesn't get more gripping than that. As Perth hold on to their 5-point lead in the second set. Mahindra Australian Super Volleyball League.
There's Clayton, and we asked for a little bit more from her. She gets dug, but they come up with the points, so everything just going the way of Perth here. All the little 50-50 balls going on the side of the Perth Steel. 16-10, very, very commanding lead.
So running into the end of the set, if Perth can get it done. Want to win first to 18, win by 2 points. Adelaide coming up with a clutch response.
Yep, it's very, Gould's a left-hander. A left-hander on the left-hand side of court is a really tough ball to hit, and she's hit that very, very well.
So Adelaide, they must dig deep here. Pardon the pun. Serve coming now from Sipper Bourgeot. No one better to do it for the side.
She's had this little serve where she looks like she's going to make it float, and then she makes it spin. So little hybrid serve we call that. She's been very effective from the service line.
11% ace rate this season. Sipper Bourgeot, and she's certainly leading the way in that passage.
Yep, that kill there from Beck Reeve gives her another chance at the service line.
Team of the week back in round 4 for Super Bourgeois.
Tight ball. Under pressure though. Wow. I thought Adelaide Storm had that there. And it's just too tight to the net.
Scarlett Doherty running out of real estate there. Get another look at that one. How are you rating the positioning of both players?
That was a beautiful read from Super Bourgeois. You could see she had to sweep across the court, so she's reading the play very, very well. Just had to keep that ball off the net a little bit.
And the body shot comes off perfectly. So again, the setup by Super Bourgeois, certainly the player to watch in this second set. Adelaide, they were in a tricky position, down by 5, but how they're responding.
Just Caitlin Wincup's furious with herself there. She said, I was all over that. It just didn't pop up. So they're clawed back a little bit, Adelaide, but they're still, what's that, 3 or 4 set points down. So in a very tough situation.
So Beth Carey. Serve falling short. Now pressure is on. Serving up well as we see some of the faces enjoying the spectacle. Of course, our women's match now, men's match to come later this afternoon. As we get started, Adelaide Storm kicking things off.
It's a great start from Wincup, picking up where she left off. Talked about what she did through the season and in the semi-final, and she's really starting to ramp up here in this championship game.
So the serve coming via Caitlin Waterfall. And now Super Bourgeois goes deep. Strong work through that centre corridor. Perth happy to use it, and the response coming from the Storm.
Just out, well, within reach, but out of reach for the Perth Steel as well. There, she got a hand on it, but not within reach to control the ball. So a good placement swing there from the Storm, and that's what we talked about, terminating points, not waiting for your opponent to make an error, but can they find ways to score and finish points.
So Super Bourgeois serve. Now deep ball. Again, the domination, Super Bourgeois.
Fantastic defense, the Liberos there, as that ball's tipped perfectly to the corner by Reeve. Again, Wells was able to get a touch, but unable to pop it up high enough.
Beautiful placement from Rebecca Reeve. She's the older of the Reeves in the side for the Adelaide Storm. And as you see that sense of touch, I would have loved to see that ball land in that perfect.
Yeah, it was going to be right in the corner, wasn't it?
Right in the corner. Lovely work.
And then an easy one on serve there for the Storm. And when both teams have such a good power game, and if we're not being able to score with power, they need to find these other ways. Find those little corners, the little tips, the little rolls. Find other ways to get the job done.
Perth also wanting to go deep. Not quite the shot from Caitlin Wincup.
So it's where we see the service pressure. So the dig was off the net. The setter had to chase the ball off the net. Therefore, the set was off the net. And then there's that pressure. You don't have as much court to play with, if that makes sense, because you're so far off the net.
So again, a lot of power from Perth. That's beautiful work there. Rebecca Reeve once again, that outside, playing so strongly.
Anytime being able to spike down the line, it seems to have come up with a point. So that relies on the ball being wide enough, but you see there past the outside block down that line corridor, and that seems to be very productive for both teams.
So Rebecca Reeve certainly done her homework. What then does Perth Steel need to do defensively to change and not concede that ball?
They need to bring their block out wider to take that line away, because it is exceptionally difficult to defend. And right now they just need to put some ball in court. That's a better pass, a bit closer, and you can see the difference already.
Jarvis doing a sensational job as libero for the Storm. Now, beautiful spike through the middle. Caitlin Whincup. So much power coming off the hands of the 20-year-old.
Better first contact, better second contact, so the dig and the set in better places, and that's what you can do when the ball's in a good area for you. And they just haven't quite been able to get that ball in a good spot, and that's been through the pressure from Adelaide.
Whincup with the serve and running out of real estate. Go the Perth Steel. Well, can't believe this start from Adelaide. They were blistering in the first set. Certainly looking that way in the third. Catherine Birch, what have you made to the start of this third set?
Thanks, guys. And as predicted, Perth Steel came out and blazed that set. So we're one apiece here. But, you know, it's Super League. Anything could happen. Neither team has used their power play yet either. So we'll wait and see what strategies they're going to use here in the third.
We're trying to figure out why both teams haven't done so. Catherine, do you have any thoughts on why? Might be eavesdropping in on the coaches' huddles and listening.
Maybe
to
I think they're just waiting to see what happens in the set. You know, it's best of 5, so they're just waiting to see what happens. But I have a feeling that the Perth Steel might be using theirs soon.
All right, well, keep your ears very much inside that huddle. We want to hear from Coach Pauline answer when she makes that move from Catherine.
Great start for the Storm. I think there's that. Just before we cut to Catherine, they went down the line again and productive and won the point, and now working that block. I think sort of the outside of the block there. So seems to be a bit of a change in direction of attack for the outside hitters of the Storm.
So small positioning shifts needed. It's a beautiful one again down the line. So Perth still starting to pick their angles. Strong response. Look at that just slight tweak of positioning and aim. What did you make of that passage?
I think finding Hislop in the middle there, and here we have our first power play. So Adelaide calling it. But yeah, they're trying to find Hislop as best they can, but they need a better first touch so the setter and the middles can find it a little bit easier to connect.
Encouraging start for the Perth Steel, denying the first point of the power play for the Adelaide Storm. So they'd be thrilled with that denial. Can they do it again? Strong spike through the middle, and that's the response you'd expect from the Storm.
Yep, she hasn't had a lot of opportunity so far, has Wright, but she hits that ball to the corners so well, something we talked about last round. So last PowerPoint play for Adelaide here.
Rebecca Reeve. And the serve not working out for her, considering she's scored the team high number of ace points this season in 6. A surprising result, but nonetheless, Perth in with a real chance here. Serve coming off Victoria Wells now.
Never a good time for a service error, but in a power play, you really just want to give your team every chance you can to get the double points. So, got Wright again there, I think, on the swing. Good little passage for her.
So Vicky Wright, middle blocker going up for her serve. Just floating it in. Great work on the counter-attack now. Super Bourgeot goes out wide. A good decision in the end. Wells can't get to it.
In that corner again, very, very well placed. Wells not making sort of a read either way. She sort of stayed in the middle, hedged a bit, and couldn't get there. But what a crazy game this is. So Adelaide up by 5 or 6 points in the first set. Then Perth get up 5 or 6 in the second set. Now it's Adelaide tearing away. It's an easy ball given up, so Adelaide can push it to 7.
Tension building. Super Bourgeot deep. Well received from Ma, and now well executed from the Steel.
And it's Crean. She's came into the game a few points ago. She's there, that real energy player, that spark off the bench, and that was a really nice, powerful swing. Just hammering the ball into the block and hoping to go off the hands and out.
So the power play called for Perth. Time to dominate for the side that won the second set. Hard for both sides to hold on to momentum, but that's championship weekend. It is the nature of this competition. AVSL serve now for Tara Mayland.
Well, these next 2 points, crucial for Perth. Can they close the gap?
Beautiful touch, middle of the court.
No, they can't close the gap, as it looks like. Not on that one. So that's a really nice swing. Again, I think the Perth players having to sort of tip and roll a little bit, not necessarily when they want to. That ball not quite in the spot for them. So the other option is to go back to Tamburi if they feel like that connection isn't quite working.
Well, you do wonder if Ma will be called into action with her team high 10 power play points this season, equal 4th in the league. Sets up and the finish comes through. So Perth holding on to every opportunity they can grasp. Expect some leadership here from the lady on screen. Green, as we've mentioned, comes on and makes an impact.
They called that power play when Ma was in the backcourt as well, so she doesn't do as much spiking from the backcourt as she does on the front. So as Sippa Bourgeot finding the winner again, it's Wells again getting the touch but unable to convert.
Do you think at what point does that become a strategy of Sippa Bourgeot's to find Wells, knowing that she's won the last of those little jewels?
Yeah, I think if Sippa Bourgeot's scoring, then keep going to her. Setters will try and find a player that sort of is maybe on a bit of a hot streak. So they should be pretty aware of who's got the hot hand. Well, and there you go, straight back to Sippa Bourgeot.
Interesting work. Mick Stevens providing the analysis today. It's off the net. Adelaide do well.
So outside the antenna. So that ball must cross the net inside those two red and white antennas. So that one outside. So point to Perth. We might see it on replay here. Yeah. Well wide. Yeah.
So luckily we're being kept honest by our line judges, Ian Alicia King, Kelvin Mann, Joshua Bell and Giuseppe Bigliarolo. Now huge response. Great spike. Well defended. Now trying to find that middle angle once again. Kept alive by the steal.
Well, Caitlin Waterfall doing the job, hitting the floor. And, it ends up going out. What a rally. So a little pancaking there when you slide your hand across the floor and the ball lands on it. We call that a pancake in volleyball. So I think Waterfall getting one of those. Lots of good efforts on defence and continues. It started with great defence this match and it's continuing that way.
Caitlin Waterfall certainly using her size to advantage. 170 centimetres for the 27-year-old. In her 6th season, so a lot of experience. So now we see Adelaide Storm try and regain their momentum, albeit scoreline very much in their direction.
And there's Clayton. We wanted to see a little bit more from her and they managed to find her there. We haven't called her name much on attack at all this match, so good to see her into the offense.
That's right. Second season player, 35 years old.
Rachel Reeve, doing really well there. Not to touch the net. I'm not quite sure how she managed that, but not to their end anyway. See here on replay. Ma off for blocking out. I'd like to see a little bit more ball to her.
Yeah, well defended. And aggression through the middle. What a shot. Rebecca Reeve once again She's coming up clutch in the moments where her team needs to stand up.
Great rhythm there as well. Just, I might get another look at it, but she just flowed beautifully into that. The set was absolutely perfect for her.
So set point now for Adelaide. Perth respond through the middle. Well kept up by Jarvis. Now deep, too deep.
Any touches? You see the Adelaide players asking, they think that was touched on the block, but
Rebecca Reeve appealing to our referees. Unsuccessfully though. So Adelaide still with set point. Perth must continue to survive the pressure. Simi Bourgeot just checking in with the refs to make sure it wasn't a touch. So Perth trying to defend that set point, and that will close the third set. So it's Adelaide holding the lead 2-1. Inspired passage, an inspired third set for the Adelaide Storm. The Adelaide Storm continue to surprise, holding a 2-1 lead as we enter the fourth set of the Mahindra Australian Volleyball Super League. And what a surprise, Perth came in as the favourites, aiming to get their second club double in 3 years, with their men's team to come. They're under pressure as we commence the fourth set.
oh, Simi Bourgeot cannoning into that post. It looked quite awkward. She seems to be up and okay, but
Bit of a heavy hit. She touches that lower right back. Hard post there at the South Pine Indoor Sports Complex, but luckily Simi Bourgeot is even tougher.
yeah, she hit that very hard and not the ball.
Perth. The hard yards, beautiful touch. And again, Caitlin Wincup demonstrating her class early in the fourth set.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice ball control. That little roll shot over the block. Good creativity from her.
Expect that one. Inspiring the Perth watch party over at Steve's Bar and Cafe in Nedlands. So a big hello to wherever you're joining us around the country and around the world.
And positive signs there. Beth Carey into the offense nice and early in this fourth set. She'll be, the more they can find her and right, the more pressure they'll put on this Perth team.
And a small touch, very well disguised. Simi Bourgeot getting blocked.
Wonderful dig from Ma to keep that ball alive, and they defend one down the line, which hasn't happened a lot so far this game. Reeve on the pipe is Doug.
Again, exposing that right-hand corner. Simi Bourgeot is loving that angle. You have to wonder when the Steel are going to adjust to cover for that position.
So we might not see it here, but Wells in that middle back defensive position, she's trying to see what's unfolding in front of her, where the blockers go, what the timing of the blockers is, and she's trying to make her positioning off that information. So it's not easy.
No.
At the moment, Simi Bourgeot getting the better of that battle, and Wincup getting the better of that one. Putting that ball down very sharply.
Absolutely, 5 games for the Volleyroos back in 2023, and isn't she demonstrating some class? With the hops as well. Brilliant work. Such a strong athlete.
It's very high above the net, and she hits the ball very, very hard. She gets onto it. It's very difficult to stop.
So Wincup, the team high 9% ace rate. Got an ace there. Side starting to rally, and they'll need to. Of course, we're playing a best of 5 set format for the championship weekend. Both teams still with power plays up their sleeve. Bourgeot with the serve.
Well handled there by Walters. That's been a tough serve all season. It's a good read that time. Whincup in the backcourt.
Powerful whack from Wells. Good response, Walters. And the classy finish now for the Steel.
Ball just tight to the net. I'm not sure if Maher ended up touching it or not, but she made sure it wasn't coming back over. So you see here, yeah, she was just there. I don't think she had to play the ball in the end. Well, must win, obviously a must win set for Perth, but Adelaide their first opportunity to take out this championship if they can get this set.
So, off. Serve. Adelaide continuing to show up strongly. Pundits wouldn't have expected them to have such a start. Neck and neck now. So going deep, Walters. Waterfall now. Just not making it over the net for the Storm, so Perth happy with their response.
They've started well. Serving well, defending well.
Absolutely. They had a 31% attack kill percentage in the semi-final. Down from their, slightly down from their season, 38%, which was first in the league. So you'd expect them in attack to be strong. Clumsy point, but point to point.
Yeah, that's a very, very difficult serve to handle, not because of the power, just the placement and the ball clipping the tape. It's just so hard to adjust. Once you commit to a move and the ball changes, it's very difficult to respond.
So Shelby Maher with a bit more clearance over the net that time. Well kept up by her Steel. Into the middle of the court. Lovely touch again down the line, but Perth read it well. Into the back half. Can they finish it off?
Yeah, easy ball here for the Storm. They go to right, which is what we've asked for. And the little tip gets it done. No need for power there. I'm not sure if the ball was quite there for her, but she scores anyway.
Vicky Wright doing well in the number 10. Check out beautiful handiwork.
Yeah, I think it was Whincup and Walters. I think they expected each other, the other person to get the ball. And as soon as you hesitate on the volleyball court, you're going to get caught out.
There is certainly nowhere to hide in this beautiful sport. As the ball goes exploring every region of this court. South Pine Indoor Sports Complex. Dig.
Oh, that's a big block. I think back into the head or face of Malin there. Sure we'll get a chance to see that on replay, but that was a very big block. Haven't seen a lot of blocks winning, like a lot of blocks, but not a lot of blocks winning points. So that's a positive sign for the Perth Steel.
Been so unique to this match. Long rallies, players. We've seen pretty much every player get used in a couple of points today. So very much a team effort from both sides. Perth on the second set, holding on now. Beautiful touch. Walters. Now the Maher attempted to smash it over. Beautiful result for Shelby Maher.
Yeah, they haven't set her a lot in the back row, the backcourt positions, but doing a very good job there, finding a way down in front, down the front of the Storm block. Is that in? It is. Ace serve.
First ace of the day.
There has not been a lot of that today.
So Victoria Wells, fantastic work. She was in the round 3 team of the week. She's finding that kind of form now off her serve. Goes again for that daring middle placement. And unfortunately, Maher can't keep the ball alive.
Vicky right there. They connect with her beautifully, and she's absolutely crushed that.
See Wright providing some direction to her teammates. What do you think she's trying to communicate besides the play?
So they might, as a middle blocker, they might be talking about where they're going to block. So they'll use their hand signals to say, I'm going to go a little bit towards this way or the other way, or I'm going to commit. So if it's a good pass, I'm going to jump on the opposite, the middle attacker from the other side. regardless of what happens. So there's lots of little information they can tell each other as we see a power play.
I was just going to say this would be a good time for Perth to get into the business end. It's Adelaide who took the first and third set. Perth trying to hold on to the second and maybe a fourth. Oh, inspired, finding the gap. Dive from Wells, not enough. So Adelaide again denying opportunities within the power play.
I wonder if they might call their own in the next few points. Obviously, if they can get this set, they'll take out the championship. But this feels fitting if it goes to 5. It feels like it's sort of the way both these teams have played through the season and the way this game's gone so far. I'm not surprised if this goes to 5 sets.
Well, it would be fitting of this championship weekend. Both teams had to play 5 sets in their semi-finals. Will this final day end up the same way? Sipa Borjaro, she was celebrating the point before it even finished. That's how good her placement was.
Yeah, she's really found her radar today. She's been very good. She's been doing most of the offensive work for this Storm team. And that's an important point. So that's 2 of the 3 they've stopped, of the power play points they've stopped for Perth.
A critical moment for Perth. Last of their power play. Artfully set up now. Big response. And a beautiful angle, Caitlin Wincup.
That's a very sharp angle. You're going to struggle to defend that. Well, they get one. They get the last one of their power play. So 12-8. So it's a handy little buffer halfway through this 4th set.
Perth won the Championship Club Award, but so much silverware on the line for both sides today, their men's and their women's. And unfortunately, that point going awry. So Caitlin Waterfall get it over the net, and just up to her teammates.
Well, a really important couple of minutes of volleyball here for the Storm. They need to try and close this gap. Still have the chance to call a power play as well, should they wish. Only on 9 points. And Mayland into the net. That's, as we said earlier, there's never a good time to make a service error, but this is, as you said, a really crucial few minutes of the game.
So big serve here for Caitlin Wincup. 20-year-old falling short there. She's had 6 aces this season, second most in the league. They use one now, so Adelaide, their own serve. Bourgeot.
We've talked about her serve a little bit. She's been a very good server so far this season. That little sort of hybrid ball that cuts across. Well, they do call the power play, so, and on probably their strongest server. So
11% ace rate. Can she find one here? Not quite. Perth holding on.
It's a good dig though, and Crean's onto the court for the steal. Ma, no touches on the block, and that's just out. So massive point to the Storm.
Adelaide really looking towards the business end for the set now. Can they set up a championship win? Playing the best of 5. So can they get to 18 points first, winning by 2?
Well, opportunity here as well. But Perth staying alive with some defence, but another great dig. So can someone put the ball away for the Storm? No, another dig. How's the defence today? It's been fantastic. And another dig, just because. And another one. Just no one finding a way.
Will it be a soft touch or the power that gets through? Sipa Borjaro, she had the power, but slightly offline. So Perth continuing to survive the challenge. Final point of the power play to come. It's interesting, the Adelaide Storm, they haven't won a championship since, or South Australia broadly, since to the Mount Lofty Rangers and USC Adelaide Lions days back in 2005 and 2006. Could this be their moment?
They go to Carey, and again, just can't quite get the connection right. So 2 attack errors on the second and third power play points. That'll be potentially costly for this Storm team.
Clayton, our second season, huge moment and well executed once again. Elise Hislop coming through with power and might.
She's fired up right there. They haven't been able to find her a lot on offense, so she hasn't been able to score a lot, and she loves that one. And she's a brilliant blocker as well, but the Adelaide Storm have just managed to avoid her for most of the match somehow, as she gets the touch there on blocking and can't convert it. But she hasn't had the impact and hasn't been able to have the impact that she usually does and that she would obviously love to have.
So involvement now, so coming from Beth Carey.
Great delivery from Ma, and there's Hislop right there into the corner. So exactly what we spoke about, getting her into the game. She's formidable and hard to stop when they set her right.
One block is the word off Hislop's lips. Set point for Perth. Down 2 sets to 1. Critical moment. And it goes out of court, so Perth, they come up with the response. Geez, it's some seesawing volleyball, 2 sets apiece. Of course, this grand final is going to come down to the wire and the final 5th set.
Well, I think we all thought, I thought that was out, but obviously there must have, something's been called, whether it was a block touch or a net touch. We didn't see the signal. I was with you there. I thought that was the way of the Perth Steel, but Adelaide hanging in. How much longer can they hang in for, though? It's, again, a lot of set points the way of Perth. There's one. There's one more back. Another twist and turn.
That's what this grand final is about. Cedar still maintaining smiles, maintaining composure, still at set point.
Oh, a long way off the net. Ma, though. Yes, there it is. So they do get the point and the set, and we go to a 5th.
Well, what a 5th set to come here at the South Pine Indoor Sports Complex. Very much an alternating story. Adelaide coming through for the 1st set. Perth in response in the 2nd. Adelaide in the 3rd. Perth in the 4th. But who will take out the 5th? Packed house here. So many fans coming to see a double header of action. Women's grand final now. Men's to come. Got a huge couple of minutes ahead. 5th set. What a gripping first point this is. Sipper Bourgeot tries to expose that deep right-hand corner again. In response, set and...
That's a heck of a dig from Walters. One arm fully stretched as Bourgeot. Again, too much power. And I think, we're just talking off there, I don't know. I can't pick this one, but I think it's going to come down to individual performance. Can some of the better players, some of the top tier players from each team, who's going to step up and dominate the match? Ma, Hislop, Whincup for Perth, or Sipper Bourgeot, Beck Reeve, Beth Carey for Adelaide. Who's going to take control of this match?
It's a very good question. This is the moment where legendary histories in this sport are made in these clutch moments. Now looked like a beautiful, beautiful bit of handiwork off Leah Clayton.
It's a great swing from her. Yeah, and again the middles, we've talked about it for both teams. So Hislop and Clayton for Perth, Carey and Wright for Adelaide. The more they're involved, the better these teams will play.
It's very much a shared workload by the Steel at the moment. Waterfall with the serve.
So just a high ball out, and that's a much better spot from Wells, picking the angle there from Bourgeot that time. So Bourgeot, and just wide, well left by Adelaide.
Victoria Wells could be one of those players to stand up. Catherine Birch, your courtside. Who do you think needs to stand up in this final fifth set?
Well, the fans at home and the ones here in the stadium have definitely got what they've asked for today. This is an absolute thrilling five-setter. This Adelaide Storm, Danush Super-Bourgeot, and then on the other side, Caitlin Wingcup and Elise Hislop. Oh my goodness, I don't know how this is going to end, but everybody is on the edge of their seats here.
Do you have a tip for us, Catherine? She might be thinking of it. I reckon it's
I'm feeling a little bit Adelaide Storm at the moment. I think they've really been super impressive in the rally play, and their coaching bench is also very much enjoying their performance, so I think they might just get across the line today.
All right, Catherine, good idea. Thanks for your insights. That coaching team led by Rachel Orchard, the assistant coach for the Australian women's team. So we've spoken about what she can do as an athlete, what she can do as a coach. Can she bring her side? Very long awaited premiership. Perth certainly doing their best to put a stop to that plan.
Yeah, I feel like Adelaide deserve a championship. They've been such a good little team for a few years now, but standing in their way is this formidable Perth side. So just trading points early. Reeve, we haven't called her name much. She's dug. Wingcup, and that's dropped in. It looked in live to us. The Adelaide players look very confused. They see the arms go up on the bench there from the assistant coaches, but called in.
Beautiful ball to the top left corner. So again, Leah Clayton goes straight into the middle. Block work offline.
Yeah, I think it's landed out. So last touch, Perth. So nice little play. You'll see sometimes the attackers will do that absolutely on purpose, try and hit it off on a particular angle, so it goes straight off the block and out, and can't be dug then.
A lovely block work, Vicky Wright.
She does a power work as the middle blocker and middle attacker for Adelaide, but that one too much on it. So we just keep trading points here early. Both teams have a one power play left as well.
Certainly something to keep up the sleeve.
I'm going to guess they'll use them as late as possible, as long as one of the teams hasn't sort of started to break away. I think they'll wait as late as they can to call them.
It's always the question of, do you use it to spring ahead or do you use it to claw back? A good idea from both coaches to just keep their aces up their sleeve until absolutely necessary. So check out a quick replay, sky high ball and class on the finish. Tara Mayland.
Yeah, it's a very difficult spot for a left-hander. She did very well there. Not just to keep the ball in, but to score as well. Nice dig from Jarvis. And there's that line, and it's dug. That's a great dig from Ma. Big block is covered. Ma again. Well, opportunity for Adelaide. They're in system here and in rhythm.
Well kept alive by Perth as they go through the middle. Set up and lovely touch again, right. Using all the tricks up her sleeve. Monster blocking work at the front.
Easy ball now for Adelaide. Super-Bourgeot is blocked, but it's in and they're alive. Reeve, just missed the corner. Well, we've had, I think every set we've had a rally like that. Just so good to watch. Great blocking, but they're covering all their hitters exceptionally well as they take a few deep breaths on both sides of the court.
I love the face of Danae Walters wearing the number 16 there, libero, so the different coloured shirt. You could see her exhale, how much that point takes out of every athlete.
Oh, and backs it up with an ace, does Wells. Adelaide left it, thought it was sailing long, and it's just dropped, so a big, long rally and an ace serve back-to-back. That will definitely shift some momentum to the Perth team.
Question, who would stand up in this fifth set? Wells, a dig from Ma. Her teammate on the end of it though.
Malin, 2 points already in this 5th set. She hasn't done a lot of offensive work and not necessarily her primary responsibility, but that's 2 very handy points from her early in this 5th.
It's off the right serve.
As Wells, I think, in the backcourt, so a little change up. It's usually Ma in that spot, so Wells, have a look, see if they've changed their lineup or it was just a particular play that they ran. But here we're back at 7-all.
Set and beautiful angle, albeit well defended.
Another great dig. High ball, Sipper Bourgeot has to pop it over with her wrong hand.
And that's exciting stuff from the Perth Steel. Steel very much in this one.
Absolutely, win cup there. She's going to be key for them if they're going to take this 5th set in this championship match.
So Elise Hislop with the serve, little blocker.
Mayland again, she's blocked and there's nobody there to cover that. Bit of fortune there, bit of luck there for Perth Steel, and it ball popping into space. Both teams have covered their spikers so exceptionally well today.
It really feels like the showing of defence from both sides has been just top class. Sipper Bourgeot again, it looked like she was trying to find that deep right-hand corner. Didn't come off as she intended.
No, I'm sure that ball was a little bit low for her. It looks like she didn't quite have the rhythm she wanted, but 10-7, mini break here to Perth. That's really the first sign of some pressure on Adelaide on the scoreboard here.
And I was going to say, Hislop, she's had a great run through service game. Power play now called for Perth, so denial on the first point. Can Adelaide do that twice more?
Well, when do they call theirs? Looks like they're not going to call it this point, but they will call it in the next few points for sure.
Do you like the timing of Coach Pauline Manser calling hers now for Perth?
Yeah, she could have potentially waited to call it on the receiving of the serve, but had confidence in her team. As Wincup high and heavy into the corner. So one more remaining, so 12-8. Doesn't look good on the scoreboard, but Adelaide still with their power play, so they can catch this gap up very quickly if they're successful.
Well, of course, this was going to come down to the wire. Championship weekend once again, showing why this league is just so gripping. A lot of space to find the holes in the Storm defence, keep themselves alive. Huge run.
That's a massive point. Walters will be disappointed with their effort there, I think. It was an easier ball put over by Malin, but she got the placement just right to put enough pressure. Yeah, just got past her a little bit. Walters there. That's a big point because that was the last of their power play. So, yes, here we go. I was just thinking about that on Sipper Bourgeot's serve. We talked about her serving, so.
Happened earlier in the match. The power play was called off the Sipper Bourgeot serve. So Rachel Orchard sticking with the same strategy.
It's a great play though for the Perth Steel. They covered the block well and popped the high ball up to Wincup. And she's just hitting really high and hard at the moment and just letting the block do the work.
With a team high 9% ace rate. She could certainly use one now. It's our play for Adelaide. But wow.
Ma, again, high and hard into the block. We've seen so many blocks just pop back into court for teams, but Wincup and Ma have been able to find a way to go off the block and down. So 2 clutch plays there. They're stepping up here in this 5th. That's a great dig. Wincup again, but on the net, and Carey, tallest player on the court. No mistakes there. I think that was the third of their power play points.
So both teams just going point for point now. 1 point each available. Just back to normal volleyball rules. Who's going to be the first to get to 18?
Mar again, this time too much. So, crucial point on serve for the Storm. I was just looking at that scoreboard thinking 14-11 is a big ask. Not being, only to 18, we're not far away from that really, and 3 points is quite the deficit, but there's one back. They need to serve and defend very, very well here.
So Beth Carey with her serve. Electric work over the net, well kept alive. Link up with the dig over.
The right is blocked but covered, but an easy ball given to Perth. Wells gets it done. It's Beth Carey, the middle. It's a good touch. Not good enough.
Wow, this championship can go really either way. Perth, they had a nervous start, but can they hold on in this business end? So close to what could be another championship. Carey, or Clayton rather, over the top, well dug.
Hislop into space. And they've been able to give her an opportunity in a big moment. Well, it's really looking like Perth here. 16-12, you're going to replay that little quick ball in the middle. So everything stacked against Adelaide here. Just going to run out of points to come back.
Clayton to the middle, popped up. Again off hands, so Perth commanding position. Beautiful touch over the net. Jarvis, Sipper Bourgeot. If it's going to be anyone, it'll probably be her. Short touch, Wells over. And Sipper Bourgeot, flatter ball. Can the finish be delivered? Sipper Bourgeot keeping the point alive, doing crazy things.
Reeve off 1 foot, and she's got a touch off the block. And she breathes a sigh of relief. And they're hanging in. It's really, first power play was really successful for them. They've got them that little break on the scoreboard, and managing to hold on to it at the moment.
Popping it up.
Great dig.
Well
Jarvis.
kept in.
The block is there, and how many times have we seen them hit into the block but keep the ball alive? And that time there was someone there, but they just couldn't keep it alive. So first match point away of Perth.
Championship point for Shelby Marr. The biggest serves of her career. Popped up by Jarvis. Put over the net. And the class. Wells. Again, Jarvis. Sipper Bourgeot can't do it, but the Perth Steel can.
What a win. Perth Steel, what a match. That's been just so tantalising from the first set. We sort of picked maybe Adelaide to get this fifth set. The power play from Perth, they executed that exceptionally well. That got them ahead, and they've run away with it.
Well, Perth Steel, they cap off an undefeated season with the championship win. Unbelievable work. To see the coach, Pauline Manser, how thrilled she would be after that 2024 bronze, now gold.
Yeah, well done, Manser. Laurel Wentworth as well, been around this program and Western Australian volleyball for a very long time, and they've got this team playing so exceptionally well. Congratulations to Perth. They've had a brilliant season. Adelaide, they'll be pretty gutted going all the way to 5, and they looked going into that fifth set. I said off air, I think it's Adelaide. Birchie thought it might have been Adelaide. So, but as I said, I think just that power play at the right time, executed the power play, and that got them a little buffer, and executed in Adelaide's power play as well.
Absolutely, winning the second, fourth and fifth set as we check out some of the highlights. My oh my, Steel, really nerves of Steel by the end, the way they were able to respond as you see the devastation on the faces of the Adelaide Storm, how close they've come in the last 3 years, 3 consecutive grand finals, silver every time.
You know, as I said earlier in the broadcast, I really feel like this group deserve one. They've been playing such good volleyball and being such a good group together, but that's sport at the top level.
It is, and part of sport at the top level is enjoying these championship wins, as you see the smiles on the faces of some of these Steel superstars. And there were so many of them today. You can see the happy smile and wave from Danae Walters, libero. She had a really tough day in the office, but really kept it together at key moments.